Are we live? I think we're live. All right. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me okay, and then we will go ahead and kick things off. Starting out your live stream by looking around and asking if you're live is always awkward, but there is an easy trick to avoid this. Hi, I'm Aaron Parecki. First, I want to talk about the reason that this happens in the first place. There are two main reasons people start out a live stream awkwardly looking around asking if they're live. One, because it's easy, but two, because it's actually hard to tell if you are live when you click the Go Live button on YouTube. Plus, there's a delay between what you're sending and what people see on YouTube, so you never really know when the live stream actually starts. So it's very natural to look around and try to get some sort of confirmation that you're actually live before you start just talking to the camera. So let's talk about how to solve this. Instead of starting your live stream with your main camera and hoping you get the timing right, instead start your live stream with a countdown timer and some background music. Give yourself anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. This gives you a chance to do all the things you need to do before you actually start talking to confirm that everything is actually working. With 2 minutes on the clock, you start your countdown timer. In a few seconds, you'll see the Go Live button on YouTube. Go ahead and click it, and at this point, you might have about 90 seconds to go. And now you can actually open your live stream on your regular YouTube page because often the little preview in the studio tab is just kind of broken. And on the main YouTube page, you can actually watch your live stream and unmute it to make sure the audio is working. And that way you can actually hear your countdown music too. You might notice that the stream on YouTube is several seconds behind what you're actually streaming, and that's because of the built-in delay on YouTube. And that's normal, it's okay. So now you can close this tab, watch your countdown timer in real life, and once it hits 0, switch to your main camera, turn on your microphone, and now you can start your show off strong. It can take some practice to do all these checks in just 2 minutes, so maybe start with 5 minutes and then see how quickly you can get through your pre-show checklist. So maybe you're asking, why not just start with a still image of your channel art or something? Well, mainly because you actually don't want people who land on your live stream to think it's frozen or not working. People may not actually realize that you're actually live if there's no movement on the screen. Also, it's nice to give people an idea of how long until you'll be starting. So if somebody opens up the stream right when you start, they'll actually know they'll have 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Without the counter, they have no idea if it's about to start in a few seconds or if they have to wait a few more minutes. Another reason is for people who watch the replay. Remember that if you trim your live stream after it's over, you lose the chat replay on YouTube. And that's the reason I never trim my live streams. I actually like being able to see the chat history along with the video. And if the video starts with a countdown timer, somebody watching the replay can easily skip ahead to when the stream actually starts by just skimming through the playhead until the countdown gets to 0. There's one more reason to start a stream with a countdown timer too, and that is YouTube notifications. YouTube notifications are extremely unreliable and not consistent. I know you always hear YouTubers telling you to subscribe and click the bell icon, which is important and it does help, but there's a bit more to it. Speaking of which, take this opportunity to subscribe and click the bell icon on my channel if you haven't already. So what's wrong with YouTube notifications? Well, subscribing and clicking the bell tells YouTube that you are interested in this person's videos and live streams, but it's not a guarantee that you'll actually get a notification. Yes, even though it says all here. For example, if you stop clicking on the notifications you get from the YouTube app, YouTube will eventually stop sending them to you. But more relevant to this discussion is that YouTube actually doesn't blast out all the notifications immediately all at the same time. They will roll them out kind of slowly. And that means someone might get a notification a few minutes after you've actually gone live and they will have missed the beginning of the show. So starting your stream with a countdown timer gives a chance for a bunch of the notifications to kind of trickle out slowly and for people to come into the chat. So how do I do it? I'm going to share 3 ways to include a countdown timer in your live streams. First, let's start off with the easiest option. And that is if you're running your live stream from the Yola box. There's actually a countdown timer built into the device. You can click on the graphics tab, click add, choose the countdown timer, and now you can actually customize a bunch of different parts of it. You can choose the colors, you can choose the font, change the size, choose whether you want a solid background or to overlay this as a partially transparent layer on top of your video. You can even add your own background music here that will play during the countdown. So once this is set up, then you can just tap on it on the side here and it will start counting down. When it reaches the end, it will go away automatically and it will reveal the video underneath, and then you're live. So that is pretty easy. Now, if you're using an ATEM Mini or any other kind of streaming hardware that doesn't have this kind of thing built in, then you're going to need to bring your countdown timer in as an external video source. There's a couple options for doing this. One easy option is to use an iPad app that is a countdown timer. So you connect the iPad to the ATEM over HDMI, and then you switch to it like a video source. The one I'm using here is just a giant countdown clock with very few options. It's called Countdown. You can change the color of the countdown timer between red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, but there's no options for font or really anything else. I actually did use this app quite a lot in my early live streams because it is just so simple. It just works. This app is called Countdown, very creative, and it turns out almost impossible to search for on the App Store, so I'll leave a link to this below. There are a bunch of other similar apps though, and really any of them will work fine. One of the other things you can do with this kind of app is to overlay the countdown timer on top of some sort of other graphic. So if you have a thumbnail or a background for your show, you can use the upstream or downstream key in the ATEM, set it to a Luma key, and then overlay this on top of that thumbnail. And that makes it look a little bit nicer than just the giant text on black. And if you use the upstream key, you can actually shrink it down and move it around if you want also. And that's using the flying key option in the DVE. Once you get this set up the way you want, you can create a macro to quickly restore the settings. That way you can start your show quickly. Another totally different option is to create or download a video clip that is a countdown timer itself and play that video clip at the beginning of your live stream. There are a lot of different ways to get a video clip for this. The easiest one is just to download one from a stock video website like Storyblocks or ArtGrid. There are some pretty fun ones on these sites too that are a lot more interesting than just text. And of course, you can use your own video editing app or Apple Motion or Adobe After Effects and create your own video countdown clip from scratch. One of the other nice things about doing it this way is that you can then also bring this video clip into your video editor and sync it to a music track. That way the music ends right at the end of the countdown clip. And this is how I get my countdown music to end at the exact right spot every time. That way I always open the show right as the song finishes. Once you have your video clip, you're gonna need some way to play it back into the ATEM. You can use a HyperDeck for that, for example, which lets you play back clips from an SD card. This is definitely the most expensive option since the HyperDecks start at about $500. But the nice thing about the HyperDecks is that they can be automated with Companion or even controlled directly from the ATEM. There's also the HyperDeck emulator for the Raspberry Pi called PlayOutB. I'll link to that below as well. Another great option is the iPad app called LiveApp Pro. It's also hard to search for on the App Store, so I'll leave a link to that below too. This one integrates nicely with the ATEM as well. You actually tell the app which input it's connected to the ATEM on, and then load in your countdown clip, turn on this autoplay option, and as soon as you switch to the input that the iPad is connected to, the iPad will start playing the video clip immediately. Well, that's it. I hope this helps you make better live streams. Leave a comment below with your favorite style of countdown timer that you use for your shows. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And of course, you can use any video editor or Apple Motion or what's it called? After Effects.